So, am I real yet?
Ah, I see what you did there.
Hi, it's Katy Someillan back at you with the 5th ever episode of Young and Terrified. And today I have a guest that I've been friends with for a very, very long time. Emalie, how you doing?
Hi, I'm so honored to be here.
How have your past 24 hours been?
They've been interesting. They have. I'm so ready to be here though. This has been the best. How long have I been here? 2 hours out of my 24.
God, wait, you've been here for 2
Have I?
I just realized. Anywho, so you're in Miami for the weekend.
I am.
Where are you from?
I'm from Miami.
Oh, you're so funny. You were born here.
I traveled down from Ponte Vedra, which is right outside of Jacksonville.
Yeah, so northern Florida for the uninitiated. And yeah, glad to have you here. And
So honored to be here.
So honored.
So honored.
Well, let's get onto the show. So, we're going to talk a little bit for a little while about moving and the idea of moving and the idea of transportation.
Mm-hmm. Transportation.
Yes, transportation. Mm-hmm. You've moved a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've never moved in my life, so I've lived in Miami my whole life. Mm-hmm. But relative to me and a lot of people I know, you've moved. How does that feel and how does that affect your being?
Wow, deep questions already, Katy. I see you. Well, moving from Miami, I was... How old was I? Young. Let's say young because I don't want to do the math.
It was
right
after
now.
4th grade.
Yeah, it
so
was.
Yeah.
And that was rough because this was all I had ever known. I had my Spanish people here. Hola, señoritas. And my Cuban family and all my friends that I love still very much. And Orlando was a really tough move. I was there for a year.
Really?
I think
you
a
were for
year.
longer.
I think it was just a year. And it was very horrible and very sad. It was rough.
And like that's the exact opposite thought when you think of Orlando because you're like, oh, Orlando, Disney. Like you must go to Disney like every weekend. It's
yeah. Well, actually, I did go to Disney a lot. I mean, how can you not when you're there? Like it's Disney and Universal and stuff. But the city itself, I mean, I don't want to like trash it and be like, ugh. But it just wasn't the best for my family and I at the time. It was really rough on us, like emotionally and mentally and everything. And then we came to little Ponte Vedra, the sacred small bubble that it is. And the transition was easy for the most part. And I met my best friend in Ponte Vedra. I went to high school, still going to high school in Ponte Vedra.
I hope so.
I would hope so. Yeah, I dropped out. No,
are you about to tell me like, oh, I dropped out. I'm getting a G.
This is how you know. Still there. It's a cute little, interesting bubble.
And like, what do you mean by bubble? Like
by bubble. There are certain people there. You know, like there's not a lot of.
Like culture, you know.
There is culture.
You just flailed your arms, so
yeah. Culture. There's how do I explain this? Everyone. There's just a very small community. That's sacred. It's a small golfing community. Like everyone golfs, plays tennis, swims at the beach, has their own little. It's fascinating. Barely any Cubans. It's very sad.
I wouldn't consider that to be sad. I mean, I'm Cuban myself. I wouldn't consider that to be very much sad.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. There's lots of cultural differences between people who don't grow up Hispanic and me. In Ponte Vedra, it's very different.
Yeah, like what can you tell about like the cultural differences specifically like about growing up and stuff?
Oh, growing up. Well, one, everyone voices their opinion in a Cuban household. I've realized while in Ponte Vedra that some people don't do that. They like to pretend that lots of stuff is fine, but they're actually like mad at the person or something. No shade, just saying.
Shout out to all my friends.
Shout out to Sorry. No, but it's true. And I'm a very loud person who, if something's bothering me, I'm going to tell you. And sometimes it's taken the wrong way. But in Miami, it's like, oh, you got a problem with me. That's cool. Let's talk it out. That's one thing. Also, on a lighter note, people in Ponte Vedra don't know what ropa vieja is.
Wait, they don't know what ropa vieja is?
They don't. It's honestly heartbreaking. Tell me about it. I bet half of them has never had a empanada either.
Oh my God. Okay. I've gotten on I'm in a mood in which I eat empanadas a lot because it's a quick meal that I can do while I'm studying.
Tell me about it.
I'm like,
honestly, empanadas are so good.
The fact that people don't know about empanadas, that
I mean,
hurts me.
I don't know if they say instead of café con leche, they're like coffee con, like, and that like
They say coffee con leche?
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
Doesn't it? It's really, or quinceañera. I hear that a lot. Yeah. Somebody's like, oh, I'm going to my friend's quinceañera, and I'm like,
it's quinceañera.
It's quinceañera. It's painful sometimes, honestly. But
like, how's Spanish class in like a room full of people who like don't have the Miami accent and
oh, it's weird. It's so weird because I know it. I know Spanish. Can I speak it? No, but I can understand it pretty well. So I sit there like, oh. And everybody's like, this is so hard. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is useless. And I'm like, honey, travel six hours down the state. It becomes pretty useful. But,
yeah. Do you like know like how like your friends in PV grew up and
how they
like,
grew up? Like, a lot of them are very Southern. Mm-hmm. The influence from Southern Georgia, just all of Georgia, I guess, is definitely present in Northern Florida. Oh, yeah.
Is it like, so it's kind of like an extension of some like Georgia?
Like, have you ever had grits?
Yeah. Oh my God.
They live off of grits. Like, am I a big fan of grits? No, but then again, at least I know what ropa vieja is. Like, no, but they are. There's lots of Southern influence. There's the accent is definitely there. Like, I'm used to the Miami accent, and then they're like,
Yeah, what I have.
Yeah, you have a very strong Miami accent. Mine wore off, sadly, but I say like, I, instead of like, oh, like, but they're very Southern. So everything's very family oriented, very traditional. Not that Miami isn't, but like it's very Southern. Like there's lots of Southern, like, oh, ma'am and sir is definitely a thing in Jacksonville where it's like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Yeah, for sure. Okay. For sure. And I didn't grow up that way.
That's like almost like degrading in Miami. Like if you say that, if you say, oh, ma'am, like that's like asking to fight someone.
It's so true. I know. Like I can't say sir to my teachers or ma'am to my teachers. I can't do it. And it's so funny when I hear like my 16-year-old friend say like, yes, ma'am. I'm like, ugh.
It's like, oh, like you want to
I get
fight?
it. It's like part of their, like who they are. It's painful sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very Southern up there.
We met in kindergarten.
We did.
Would you like to tell that story?
Okay, so we were in different classes. We were not in the same homeroom.
Yeah, we weren't in the same
homeroom. But I think we met at recess or like right outside. You know what I'm talking about. That courtyard. You know the courtyard.
I know
by like, the big tree. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
no one else is going to know what we're talking about, but like the big tree. And then you stepped on my foot. And I turned to you and I went, excuse me. And you went, excuse me. And then I was like, do you want to be my
someone dumb?
And then I was like, do you want to be my friend? And you said, sure. And we've been friends ever since.
Like, honestly, I didn't have a lot of friends at the time because I like things like Star Wars and like not really like traditionally girly things.
Mm-hmm. We created a squad though.
Yeah, we had a squad.
We had a solid squad going. Can't mention any names, but shout out.
What are some like memories you have?
Some good memes.
Memes.
Okay, so this is like my favorite one that I always like laugh about. It was your birthday party. I don't even know how many years ago.
It was okay.
I know you remember this because we talked about it.
It's an art party. It's an art. Yeah, it was an art party.
I don't even know. It was in your backyard.
Oh yeah, it was that one. Third grade.
Mm-hmm. Third grade. Okay, and this friend and I were playing like soccer or something with this huge like rubber ball, and then he.
Oh my god!
And then he.
Oh, I know exactly who it was.
Yeah. We can't say it, but you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. And he kicked it across the hedges and into your neighbor's yard, and then the dogs came and like ate the ball or something, and we were like, oh no. And then we wanted to go over to your neighbor's house, but we couldn't because we were so nervous. And that's like one of my favorite memories because I think it's so funny.
It was a ball with princesses on it, and I remember it was like I saw it after, and it was deflated.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was gone. Yeah,
I was seething.
Yeah, that was a fun memory.
Yeah.
Those were some good memories. Obviously, all the fair memories I cherish quite a bit.
Yeah, school fair was so fun.
Yeah,
Just like every
still
year.
is.
It still is. We're going tonight. Yeah. Actually, I went back to our school yesterday, and I went to the cafeteria where I think a lot of those memories happened.
Oh yeah,
and
those chicken nuggets.
Those chicken nuggets, they had like some lemony thing in it. Like,
do they really?
They were kind of lemony.
Oh my gosh, they're just so good. Like
really
best
good.
Chicken nuggets I've ever had.
10 chicken nuggets. The pizza was okay. Like
Pizza was eh. Do you remember the little ice cream sandwiches with like chocolate vanilla strawberry?
I forgot about
good.
those.
Oh my god, so good. Those were so good. But the cafeteria where they have like our that like I always call it a shrine to the PE coach. I can't say.
Oh my god!
Like,
I saw it yesterday. I'm like looking around at the cafeteria and I'm crying, and then I look at it and I stop crying.
Yeah,
because I remember how much I like hated PE. I'm like,
it's like square dancing and
okay, if you were not privileged, if you're not an American student, or like even I don't know if it's a regional thing. Or just like
no one in PV square danced, as far as I'm concerned.
So it's a regional thing.
Mm-hmm. They were like, "You square dance," and I'm like, "Heck yeah!" Like square dancing.
Yeah. Anyway, square dancing when we were both in the second grade was the most awkward thing. Yeah. You're like, ugh, boys. Like I had guy friends, but I was like, oh, boys. So
yeah. I mean, you don't want to square dance with your guy friends.
Yeah, you don't want to hold hands and promenade. Your partner.
Oh my gosh.
And like it would be the most sexist just like songs from like this vinyl.
Yes, the vinyl, and he would sit in the lawn chair with like his tent.
Yeah, you know when that tent went up?
Oh my gosh, do you remember Lazy People Work Double? And he would like always say that and we'd be like, cool, okay. Lazy people work double. And like he always said that after we like walked the forest part of the trail.
We called it the forest. It was not a forest.
It wasn't. It was like two trees.
Yeah, two trees.
Can't see us behind the trees.
2 trees of monkey bars and then bleachers. They took out those monkey bars.
They did
a while ago. Yeah, like when
my childhood.
When we were in like 6th grade, they took it out because some girl was.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah, she was somersaulting. No, like she started just like freaking. I don't know what she was doing actually. She was on the bar and I saw it with my own 2 eyes. She fell.
Oh no.
Right on her face from these bars. And it was very disgusting.
Oh, poor
teeth.
Girl. Poor girl.
And then, oh my god.
With the baseball field and the clay that would get muddy.
Jedi Club.
Oh my god.
We had, would you care to explain Jedi Club?
I don't even know if I like remember all the rules and like all of it.
We don't. No, and then we also had ACC Club for animals. And it was like us playing pretend.
It was a time. It was a time to be alive.
It was a time.
Yeah. Field day. Green and gold day. Those were the days.
Field day was great because it was sports.
4th grade.
No, it was sports, but it wasn't mandatory sports. Mm-hmm. So, like, I had teachers that I was chill with, and they'd let me sit at the bleachers. I'm like, thanks. And,
I was so into it 4th grade.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we were split up into teams, and we all had to wear, like, a T-shirt? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have, like, really fond memories of weird stuff like that.
Okay, so something else I wanted to talk about was writing. I think in the time that we were really close in grade school, we both started writing a lot. I think specifically like 4th grade, in which we wrote a lot. And I was looking back at a couple notebooks the other day. Aww. It's atrocious. I had a story about animal crackers who would talk to each other and were scared of being eaten.
Oh.
That says a lot about my personality. Anyway.
I don't know why that reminds me of lunch in 3rd grade when everyone would... Anyway.
We're waffling. Anyway, so you still write and you do a lot of poetry, or do you do poetry now? Or
I do poetry now. It's on my Snapchat, which is so random.
Yeah.
But I have written 3 books, and
holy crap.
and they're getting published, which is really cool. But I have gotten into poetry lately. This year's been really rough for me emotionally. Lots of stuff happened towards the beginning of the year that messed me up.
Sorry to hear that.
So writing became my way of dealing with that and improving my mental health, which is very important. Improve your mental health, kids. It was my outlet, and it still is, and makes me happy. And I'm glad that they're getting published. So
really,
not to toot my own horn, but
yeah. So tell me where to plug it, dude. When do you think this is gonna happen? Or
the process is very long. It's grueling sometimes. Like, there's lots of negotiations. Picking out like which person you want to represent, how you want to market it. There's a lot of stuff, but I'm hoping by the end of this, not the end of 2017, by the end of the school year, I'll have a book release party and I'll do book signings. And
I will drive up 6
you guys,
hours.
you have to.
I will.
To. Yeah,
I will drive up 6 hours to
go
go
get a free signed copy. It's going to be really cool. That's the goal. Anyway, we're on track for that. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about your writing style. So, how do you get in the mode of writing, and like, what do you usually write about?
Oh,
so like, what
poetry wise or for my books?
Anything.
Okay, anything. Okay, so it's usually when I had a bad day. So, if like me mentally that day is struggling a bit, I've had just a rough week or something, I'll usually go into my computer. I can't like hand write anything.
Really?
Which is really, I know, lots of people are the opposite, but I can't.
I'm the exact opposite. I cannot write anything that sounds at all coherent without writing it on paper.
Other way around for me. I have to type it out. I think the sound of the type is the sound of the type. What the heck? Sound of the keyboard.
Great book name.
Yeah, sound of the type. I don't know if it calms me down. I really don't know what it is. But for poetry, at least, I don't have to be, but I'm usually in a melancholy mood where it's just like I don't know, like.
That's a mood.
It's a mood. I'm just in a mood. And then poetry will help me get those feelings out. With my book, it's different. That's like a job. I treat it like a job, like a job I love. But definitely a job now that it's being published. So I'll like find time to sit down and write that. But it's nearing the end, which is so sad. Yeah,
gotta get there.
Gotta do it. But I'll be like, oh, I have to work today, and everyone knows that means I'm writing my books.
Yeah. Have you ever tried National Novel Writing Month? Which, for those who don't know, it's November. You basically go insane and write 50,000 words in 1 month, and it's something. Have you ever tried that?
Actually, I was in a creative writing class last year. Shout out to my squad. I love you guys. And we did NaNoWriMo.
You did it for the class?
For the class, yeah.
Oh
the month of November, everyone was challenged to write a novel. I did not participate only because I had already written 2. And this was during the process of I had to edit the book before it can go get published. So for that month, I just edited my first book. But watching all these like freshmen and sophomores, and I think there was a junior in that class, but don't quote me, like type out every day. They were like 45 minutes, just boop, boop, boop. It was really, really funny.
Did they do the whole like 67 words per day?
I don't know if they stuck to a schedule. We definitely didn't have like a schedule per day, but I think there were like 2 girls who did write a substantial amount.
And they completed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
As far as I know, yeah. It was, they were really into it, and then some kids were like, ooh.
Yeah, I did NaNoWriMo from 8th grade up until sophomore year. Mm-hmm. And I've never been close to 50,000 in a year because I personally feel I don't have the discipline for that. Mm-hmm. So, like, creatively, like, I love writing, and I love doing short stories. I love doing, like, little bits of poetry. Just, my poetry is extremely sarcastic, and my writing just, as a whole, it's comedy, and just making fun of the form and what's already been established. I cannot sit down and write 50,000 words as much as I would like to write a book. I can't. like there's something like inside you. I think you have to be in that mindset. It's like, I'm going to write this book. This is the thing that I'm going to do. I will not take no for an answer.
Yeah, it is rough. I mean, I've been writing my books since 7th grade. So 5 years, coming up on 5 years, which is coming up on 5 years, coming up on like 6 years, which is
Time
wild.
flies.
Time flies. I know. I mean, they weren't good in 7th grade, but
Yeah,
they were
good in 7th
That
grade.
was like the prototype was there. So it definitely took a lot of determination, especially this year. I stopped writing them because I fell into
a mental,
a
brain little bloop.
It was a rough few months, but I stopped writing for that period of time while I focused on myself and healing myself and poetry. The writing is in me, but it does take a lot of work for sure. It's underappreciated. Appreciate the writers.
Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be back in a little bit, so see you then. Hey guys, it's Katy Someillan back at you with another housekeeping for the week. This week, thank you guys so much for listening. Honestly, it means a lot. We've had a lot of feedback come back and a lot of people just enjoying the podcast generally, and that's great. And hey, if you like the podcast, you can subscribe on YouTube, you can like, you can comment, do all those great things. As well as on iTunes, you can subscribe and you can leave a cheeky little rating. And just imagine me throwing you a little party, throwing you a little happy party in your head while you subscribe and rate and do all that fun stuff. As well as now, we have a SoundCloud. You can follow us there as well. And wait, what else do you have? We have a Twitter. So you can talk to us there, you can read the tweets, all fun stuff there. Special thanks to Emalie for being a guest this time, and special thanks to all of you. And if you like this, you can also share this thing with your friends, with your family, with your dog. Share it. It's like a cold, but not as bad. So, yeah, on to the show. And we're back from break. Now, during break, we realized that your headphones were off the whole time. And basically, you could not hear me at all. And I just gotta congratulate you on your hearing.
Thank you so much.
You have great hearing. I believe I'm going at least partially deaf because of earbuds and blasting music. But nonetheless, show goes on.
I persevered.
Anyway, I have a question for you.
All right.
You can live in any fictional universe, anything. We're talking Star Wars. We're talking Percy Jackson. We're talking Hunger Games. I don't know why you choose Hunger Games. You can live there. Where do you go?
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I have no idea, honestly.
Okay, let's think of places.
Places.
Okay, the Star Wars universe. But there's a rebellion going on.
Yeah, probably not the smartest.
You can go with literally anything. You can go with a children's show. I think that would probably...
Blue's Clues.
The Blue's Clues universe is one intriguing universe, I have to say.
Riverdale. I'm obsessed with Riverdale.
Really? Okay. I've seen one episode of Riverdale and I don't get it.
You have to watch more. That's it. That's all I can tell you. It's so good. It's like my favorite show.
I like Cole Sprouse. It's that Sprouse that's in it, right?
Cole
Sprouse.
Yeah, he is.
I like Cole Sprouse in it, that he's like an edgelord, kind of. I have not seen any of this show. I just know that he plays Jughead.
He does.
And he is very edgy. And I'm like, wow.
It's
Cole Sprouse.
You have to watch this show. It's so good. It's my love. Every Wednesday, I just plop down in a penguin onesie and watch Riverdale. That's the highlight of my week, honestly.
Okay, so we're heading up. the last portion of the show. Emalie, it's been awesome having you on.
I'm so glad I did this. Like, this was so great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, since the last time I saw you was like spring.
Mm-hmm.
And since I came up with the idea of the podcast, I'm like, oh my God, I have to have Emalie on. Like next time she comes down, she's coming on. Funny enough, right when I was about to ask you, you like said, hey, can I be on? And I'm like, oh my God, you just did it for me.
Oh my gosh, we're twins. No way. Yeah, the second you put out a podcast, I was like, oh, I have to be on it. Like, there's so much I have to say. Like, heck yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to plug or?
Plug? Read my book.
That's not out yet.
That's not out yet. Oh man, I don't know. Plug? I could go serious or like shout out to my PV friends and like my Miami kiddos.
Yeah.
But
all your definitely real Miami.
All my
kiddos.
definitely real Miami friends.
That's an in-joke no one gets.
No one gets that one. Yeah, I don't know. Just I love everyone in my life right now. So there you go. That was so sappy, but
that's wholesome. It's
wholesome. Oh, little
yeah.
Emalie.
Yeah. And as well as all the other links and stuff you can do that I told you during the break. One final thing to kind of play us out. Once again, I still don't know what to call this. Talk us out. I'm calling it talk us out from here on forward.
There you go.
Taking charge.
Taking charge.
Where do you see yourself 5, 10, 20 years in the future? Go.
Okay, go. Right now. Oof. I plan on going to college. 4 years. Heck yeah. Education. Whoop whoop.
American education.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't sing. Ever since my really tough year this year, I've wanted to help other people. So I want to become a psychologist, preferably a child psychologist, and expand that in the school system. So we can have psychologists in the school system to help kids who need it, to help kids fix their mental health and focus on it, because I think that's a huge problem right now. And I really want to help kids who are struggling, because that breaks my heart, because I've been there. I want to publish more books for sure. So I see myself publishing books, helping people living in a big city with an apartment and a dog, because I love dogs. And just being happy and loving the people in my life and looking forward to the rest of my life.
That is so nice and wholesome. Oh my God, my heart is so mushy right now.
Oh.
It is a Tempur-Pedic.
Oh.
My heart is a Tempur-Pedic right now. But yeah, it's really nice that you like want to help the kids out specifically, because I feel since all these things about mental health have come out, like since the internet became a mainstream thing, you've also had locations and just like outlets for kids who have mental health issues, and you also have media catching up to mental health, like 13 Reasons Why, which I have my gripes with.
Me too. Me too.
And there's other forms of media, obviously, that paint mental health in different ways. But I believe that we do need to let teens, at the very least, like, have like a voice in mental health and just say, hey, I know I'm not doing well. And we need a place where they can't be talked down like, oh, you're a teen. What do you have to worry about? Hence the name of this podcast, Young and Terrified.
Oh, that was so good.
That was so good. Just we're a very confused generation. I think we live in a time that's very
changing.
Yes,
It's a revolutionary world.
Yes, we are. We're in a crossroads in which, as a nation, I feel that teens as a nation, we're like, what are we gonna do because of this. So yeah, it's really great that you want to do that. There's none of people in this world who want to do that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I've noticed this year, and especially this year, geez, there's a lot of stigma around mental health, about dealing with it, about seeking help when you need it. So I'm trying to erase that stigma one little voice at a time. So starting in my little bubble of PV and
spreading out to Miami.
Spreading out to Miami.
With this podcast, the world.
And
Let's
the
do
world.
the world. Let's go
let's
for
erase the stigma of mental health, kiddos.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. Well, that's going to be it for us. I'm Katy Someillan, as always. My guest was Emalie. This was the episode, and I hope you all have a very good day. Goodbye.
Bye.